Welcome children to the second part of the lesson. Should Wizard Hit Mummy? Let us continue with the lesson. He smelled so bad that none of the other little woodland creatures would play with him. Woodland creatures, the other creatures in the forest. So, no other creature would come and play with him. Joe looked at him solemnly, very sadly, because father said no other animals used to play with Skunk. She hadn't expected that this is going to happen. Whenever he would go out to play, Jack continued with zest. Zest, relish, loss of respect. Jack continued with zest, remembering certain humiliations. Whenever he would go out to play, Jack continued with zest. So he was relishing. Remembering certain humiliations. Humiliations, loss of respect. Of his own childhood. So he used to think about, actually he connects what he experienced, and along with that he is narrating the stories. All of the other tiny animals would cry, "Oh, oh, here comes Roger Stinky Skunk," and they would run away, and Roger Skunk would stand there all alone, and two little round tears would fall from his eyes. So when he goes out to play, other animals would immediately react, "Oh, Roger Stinky Skunk," and they will all run away. And Roger Skunk had to stand there all alone, crying, because there was no company for him to play. Similar humiliations even Jack had felt when he was a very young boy. He never had any company to play. So all that he had faced, he is totally bringing one by one in his own story narration too. The corners of Joe's mouth drooped down with her lower lip bent forward as he traced with a forefinger along the side of her nose the course of one of Roger Skunk's tears. So the girl is also too involved in the story. So her facial gestures also changes here. So she just, the lower lip is protruding out as though even she is going to cry. That shows her own involvement. And acknowledging the tears of Roger Skunk. "Won't you see the owl?" the girl asks. Because in every story, it is the owl which is taken. Where this Roger used to go, it is the owl whose advice is taken, and as per the advice of the owl, the story goes on. "Won't you see the owl?" she asked in a high and faintly roughened voice. Faintly. Feeble. Okay, in a feeble manner. Roughened voice. Actually, she is changing voice modulation, making her voice rough. The voice would have changed because she is also involved in the story and about to cry along with Roger Skunk. So there is a change in her voice as well. Sitting on the bed beside her, Jack felt the covers tug as her legs switched tensely. Tug, pull, to pull. As her legs switched tensely, switched, moved, or changed. Tensely. She was in great tension now. He was pleased with this. The father was pleased with this because now the girl has started just focusing on the story that he was telling. He was pleased with this moment, so he liked the way the girl reacted. He was telling her something true, something she must know, and had no wish to hurry on. But downstairs, a chair scrapped, and he realized he must get down to help Claire paint the living room woodwork. Scrapped made a rubbing sound. When you pull the wooden furniture, you will be hearing that rubbing sound, rubbing across the floor. So that sound was heard, and he was now able to understand that he has to go down and help his wife Claire, who was painting the furnitures in the living room. And he realized he must get down to help Claire paint the living room woodwork. Realized, felt, understood. So he has to extend his helping arm. Well, he walked along very sadly and came to a very big tree, and in the tip top of the tree was an enormous wise old owl. You would have heard the girl asking earlier, didn't he go to the owl? So now the Roger skunk was walking, and very sadly the Roger skunk was walking, and slowly it has come to a big tree. And on the big tree was tip top, and in the tip top of the tree, tip top means the top branch of the tree, was an enormous wise old owl. A huge owl was sitting there. Now, usually when we narrate such stories to elder children, they will say, how come you can see an owl during daytime? Kids usually play. These animals were playing during daytime because in the evening when father comes back, Roger will go back home. Owls are nocturnal animals and it will not be found during daytime. But story is a story and she is a small kid, so she is accepting as it is delivered by her father. Good. So she comments, yes, good. So he has reached the owl. Now the owl will give a solution. She is happy over it. Mr. Owl, Roger Skunk said, all the other little animals run away from me because I smell so bad. So you do, the owl said, very, very bad. What can I do? Roger Skunk said, and he cried very hard. So the owl also acknowledged, yes, very, very bad. It's so awful. How can you expect the other animals to play with you? So now what do you want me to do? The wizard, Joe shouted and sat right up, and the little golden book spilled from the bed. So immediately the girl is so very enthusiastic. Now she feels for this Roger skunk. Roger skunk is smelling so bad. And because of this bad smell, no animal is playing with Roger skunk. Roger skunk is alone. And even the owl is now commenting that skunk is smelling very bad. So now what the owl has to say? This girl is narrating now. The wizard, Joe shouted and sat right up, and the little golden book spilled from the bed. Fell down. Now, the daddy is going to get very angry. Definitely. Because when somebody is narrating the story, you cannot expect another person to narrate part of the story. Similar thing is happening. Now what is to happen next? The girl is saying, because meeting the owl is common in all the stories, going to the wizard is also common in all the stories. So the girl is now so involved in this skunk story. So immediately she cries out, the wizard, the wizard. Now Joe, daddy is telling the story. Do you want to tell daddy the story? The father is telling, no, he is so authoritative. He is a leader there. He is narrating the story. He cannot allow his child to narrate the story. So he is asking, I am telling you the story. And when I am telling, why do you talk? Are you going to tell the story to daddy? He is asking. No, you, me. So the girl, see the way she speaks. She says, no, you are going to tell to me, she says. Then lie down and be sleepy. Her head relapsed onto the pillow and she said, out of your head. Relapse went back to the previous condition. So, earlier the girl was lying down on the pillow, so she once again laid her head on the pillow. Well, the owl thought and thought. At last he said, why don't you go see the wizard? Daddy, what? Are magic spells real? So see, she is trying to move out of the story. Every story had magic spell, okay? Every story that was narrated by Jack, there was a wizard. So she has been listening that the wizard will tell magic spell and this magic spell will change or solve the problem of the person who goes with the problem. So she is asking now, are magic spells real? Is it real? Are there really magic spells? This is a new phase just this last month, a reality phase. Phase, stage. Kids are not the same every day. Today you will see them in one state, tomorrow they would have developed their intelligence and they'll be asking you lots of questions. Why? It's too many lots of questions with why. Inquisitive to know new things. So Joe is also one among them. So she is asking, are magic spells real? This is a new phase, just this last month, a reality phase. Reality phase, a true situation. When he told her spiders eat bugs, she turned to her mother and asked, do they really? And when Claire told her God was in the sky and all around them, she turned to her father and insisted, with a sly yet eager smile, is he really? So, justification. They want to justify anything and everything that is being uttered. So, when father says something, she will ask her mother, is it real? And when the mother says something, she will ask her father whether it is real, because this is a stage when a child never accepts anything as said by the opponent person, but wants to always justify it whether it is true or not. It's a realization phase where they are inquisitive to take in new things, new ideas, everything to themselves. This is the stage when they develop their vocabulary, they develop their thought factory as well. They are real in stories, Jack answered curtly, briefly. Father cannot be explaining each and every answer that is being questioned by this girl. So he just said, yes, in stories it is real, which means it cannot happen in reality, as said in this story. She had made him miss a beat in the narrative. Beat, link. He has been telling her stories about Roger Skunk. Roger Skunk had gone to the owl, and now the owl has to dictate the skunk to go to the wizard. But all these other extra questions which has been asked now by the little girl, he has come off, deviated away from the link of the story. The owl said, "Go through the dark woods, under the apple trees, into the swamp, over the creek." Creek is nothing but a small river. So go over near the creek, that is over the creek. You have to travel. See the narration of the owl. You have to go through the dark woods, under the apple trees, into a swamp. Swamp is nothing but a marshy place, and then over the creek, over the small river. So immediately the girl asks, what is a creek? So she is very inquisitive to know, because now when she was a young child, she was listening exactly what her father was saying. Now, having grown up, she wants to reason out anything and everything that is being uttered by her father. She doesn't want to accept anything as such. So she is asking, what is a creek? A little river. Father says, it's a little river. Over the creek, and there will be the wizard's house. So that owl says, you have to go to the creek, and over the creek is the owl's house, and there you will feel the wizard's house, and there you will see the wizard. Over the creek, and there will be the wizard's house. And that's the way Roger Skunk went. And pretty soon he came to a little white house, and he rapped on the door. Rapped, making, that is a tapping sound. He tapped on the door several times so that the wizard will come and open the door. Jack rapped on the windowsill, and under the covers Joe's tall figure clenched in an infantile thrill. Infantile thrill, a thrill that usually comes in an infant. Actually, you can say only the kids will feel this. So he was making sound on the windowsill, because the tapping sound has to be made. The story has to appear to be very natural. So he was tapping. So now Joe, she was just getting much more thrilled. And then a tiny little old man came out with a long white beard and a pointed blue hat and said, what's this? What you want? You smell awful. So the wizard came out. He was a tiny man with a very long beard. And what's this? What do you want? You smell so awful. So there is not even one person who had not commented that Roger Skunk was smelling awful. Everybody commented this. The wizard's voice was one of Jack's own favorite effects. He did it by scrunching up his face and somehow winning through his eyes, crunching, twisting. And somehow winning. Winning means changing his voice, a crying tone. Winning through his eyes, which felt for the interval roomy, interval pause. So, no, the face, he has to twist his face to bring that sound. Roomy is nothing but, here it is rheumatic. So, it appeared as though the muzzle has been pulled because he has to change his face in order to create that sound. He felt being an old man suited him. It is the role of an old wizard. So, old wizard, he has to make all manipulations, and he felt that it suited him, it suited his voice, and it suited him as well. We will continue in the next lesson, next part, children. To receive our online lessons, please press the subscribe button and you will receive the latest updates. Thank you.